Hi, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with our Platinum versus Raw from June 1st, 2020. To mark it in time, we are in the midst of the protests going on around the country. It's kind of a crazy time, and that kind of blends into what I'm going to talk about for a lot of this. We opened with a package about setting up the matches tonight. So Drew versus MVP, the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders are going to go bowling. Jesus, who cares? Asuka versus Charlotte Flair in a title versus title that they're making remarkably little hay about, which means it's going to be one of wrestling's foregone conclusion matches, my favorite, where the result will have no consequence and nobody's going to win the other's title. Glaringly obvious. Seth Rollins is going to do this retirement shtick for Rey Mysterio that we all know is not going to happen. And then we got a video package about all the stuff that Seth Rollins has done to Rey Mysterio. And then Aleister Black comes out and attacks Seth Rollins. And we go to commercial. Then we come back, we got Aleister Black versus Seth Rollins. They go outside, Seth Rollins six his thugs on him, and then Humberto comes with a chair to save him, and then we go to commercial again. Holy crap. Then we have a whole bunch of match, and then we go to commercial again, and then we've got Rollins being restrained. Aleister gets attacked, held down, and Seth hits him with the curb stomp. 40 minutes of this shit, folks. 40 minutes at the top of this show dedicated to the Seth Rollins Rey Mysterio thing that doesn't involve Rey Mysterio yet. Why am I annoyed already? If it is true that wrestling is an essential service, and just go with me here with what I'm going to say, and we've got a world literally and figuratively on fire right now. It's very tumultuous, and wrestling should be an escape. Why do you not very simply open the show with Apollo Crews, an African-American man who won the U.S. title? There's a lot of symbolism there, and plus he's one of the few unabashed baby faces that you have. Can't you just open the show with him celebrating and cutting a very heartfelt promo addressing all the turmoil we're going through? But that how he's so proud to be the United States champion, and then we go on from there. I think it's much more successful. I think you can still do the Seth Rollins stuff afterwards. It just feels like an opportunity missed, and that it feels like the WWE is acquiescing and giving up and being lazy and giving up its spot as a touchstone of our country. Does that sound really heavy-handed? It is heavy-handed. It's also accurate. Because now we go into Apollo Crews as the winner of the U.S. title. And he cuts a very short promo of no consequence. And then we go into Angel Garza and Zelina, and then do a bit where Angel Garza gives the interviewer a flower and Zelina rips the petals off and throws them. And all of it feels very disingenuous and badly acted. Why would the commentator be happy about receiving a flower from a heel? And if she is, wouldn't her reaction to that flower being destroyed, wouldn't she have a stronger reaction towards Zelina? And now we have Shawn Michaels, who is going to be peddled out here to promote this Randy Orton Edge thing as the greatest match ever. Luckily, they're steering away from it is the greatest match ever to it might be, which feels a little better. But again, oh God, this thing's being promoted so oddly. Drew McIntyre with MVP in a promo, we show that, and then we show MVP and Lana talking to each other, and Lana slaps him. Wow. Now we go to commercial, and we hit hour one. So the first hour, we've had one match. They've wasted an opportunity with Apollo Crews, and that's it. Let that sink in. That's it. That's all that's happened. Now we're going to recap the Seth stuff that we saw in the first hour. Wow. And now keep in mind, I thought Raw last week was a really good show and that it was much improved, but this is awful. Then we have Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens trying to justify them having a match together. Kevin Owens, who lost last week. And so he smartly, I'll give it to him, says, this feels like a pity thing. And he goes, no, this is about respect. So Kevin Owens accepts the match. This ham-handed, terrible, I'm not going to call it booking. I'm going to call it matchmaking because that's what it is. It's they put these two guys' names on a board and now they have to justify why they're wrestling each other, even though it makes logistically in the rules and the physics of this world that they're creating, it makes no sense. But they have a match, and it's fairly good, and they brawl a little bit. And then I like the part where Apollo Crews got kicked and sold it as a low blow. And they dealt with it in a very realistic, under modern circumstances, MMA way, which is like, do you want to continue? And he's like, yeah. But he uses it as an excuse to jump Kevin Owens. I like this part. It kind of showed that though I don't like it in the sense that it kind of removes sort of a babyface veneer on Apollo Crews, it does show that he's competitive and not stupid, because on Raw, the babyfaces are dumb. Make no mistake about it. So I like that one of them showing some sense of savvy, at least. Then we go to commercial. A lot of that. Then Andrade and Garza attack the two of them. And then we go to commercial. And we have an Asuka promo. Her promos are getting better in the sense that she's learning how to punctuate with the English lines, so they have a lot more power. And she's, the Empress, meaning herself, never bows down. This would all mean more if this wasn't a foregone conclusion match. And commercial. What do you notice? We're getting hit with a lot of individual segments and then commercials, and not reasons to bridge from commercial to commercial. Like I said, this is a show that's showing signs of being incredibly lazy. They're not hooking and dragging. They're not split screening, though they do it later during the Asuka Charlotte match. They're just sort of acquiescing. It's what it feels like, that the show is an acquiesce towards. People aren't going to watch, so we're not going to do anything except use this as an infomercial to promote the next pay-per-view or two from NXT and for Backlash, of which there are many, many ads during the commercial breaks. The Viking Raiders against the Street Profits in a bowling thing. Really bad slapstick stuff. This is a minor thing, but again, it alludes to the laziness of the editing and everybody down the line. The actions that they show taking place with how many pins the balls are knocking down. By the way, when they're showing that the Street Profits or the Viking Raiders are on a tear bowling-wise, why the fuck do they not show strikes? Since that's what goes up on the score. Why would they show a thing where there were 2 pins left over when it's a strike up above? Nothing but strikes and 9 spares. Again, it's just, well, who cares, Steve? I care because it shows that they don't give a fuck. That they're just throwing this stuff together slapdash. There's a lack of care and concern. How hard is it to get footage of of all 10 pins getting knocked down on a close-up shot? My God. But they really don't care. There's a sign of just this show. They got 40 writers and none of them are working, apparently, or the editors don't care. And one thing you've always been able to say about the WWE is they put together the best packages. Their thing looks the best, but I mean, little things like this, and even if people aren't noticing, there's a part of them that does. And there's certainly a part of them that gets the overall pervasive vibe of what you're watching doesn't matter. That was the theme of this show. What you're watching doesn't matter or have long-term consequences. Bliss and Nikki meet up with the Iconics, and they have to get pulled apart by Adam Pearce. Let me say this. Adam Pearce is the unsung hero. The stuff that he does is the best stuff on the show that's unheralded. When he cut that one promo that led to the Battle Royal thing, he was fantastic in a segment that otherwise fell incredibly flat and flopped. He's fantastic. So I got to give it to Adam Pearce. He's really, really good in these things. And this pull apart is pretty good. I dare say it's the best thing that's happened, which is really sad because it is of, again, no consequence. Now we have a singles match between Nikki Cross and Billie Kay. I'm going to just predict I wrote down here wrestling's foregone conclusion match. Obviously, Billie Kay's got to win to set up this notion of a tag team title match. And sure enough, she does. And Nikki Cross, who's been billed as the weak link, is further shown to be the weak link. Way to get your baby faces over. Then we have a Drew promo, which is a little painful to listen to. Quit writing this guy's stuff out and let him give a chance for something organically to happen in making a star. Get your hands off the steering wheel a little bit and let the car go straight. That's the direction it wants to go. Quit forcing it with the wheel as much as they're doing. And then we're at 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. Jesus Christ. Interview with Rey Mysterio, which is pretty good, but Rey's son, who is first, is really stilted and unnatural. When he delivers the eye for an eye line, that one's much better. Then we got Nia Jax coming to the ring for her match with Kairi Sane. Then we go to commercial. Then we come back as Kairi Sane, and Nia Jax is really shit. And obviously some kind of botch goes wrong where she throws Kairi Sane's head into the stairs. And they're going to downplay this, but clearly she did it too hard because all she does is roll her into the ring, hit a leg drop, which is as safe as a kitten. The safest, most effective move I've ever seen Nia Jax deliver is that leg drop because she knows she's fucked up and hurt fucking Kairi Sane and pins her. Then we replay the Edge promo from last week and we go to commercial. God damn, this is a bad show, man. Then we have an Orton promo that's good. And then we have a Charlotte promo and we go to commercial. What are we watching, folks? And then Asuka comes to the ring. This title versus title is completely meaningless because we know there's not going to be anything. And they don't even try to sell us on the fact that they don't explain how a title might move to one or the other because they know this is of no consequence. Then we do a split screen during the commercial. And then I get a shining light on this show. And it's during a Dairy Queen commercial because it makes AJ Styles look like a star. He makes this surprise appearance and they have the people speaking, though it's interesting that it's the older men who are interested in AJ's appearance and nobody else, apparently. During this match, Nia comes out with Asuka's face paint and the mask and mocks her and distracts her. And this part was actually very well done, I thought, by Asuka. The timing was right. I look at Nia Jax and I'm distracted and I get counted out. Then I turn away because I can't believe the result of the count out, and that's when Nia attacks me. It was actually very well done. Lana's promo where they get across the information that, I'm not supposed to show up for Lashley's matches, but this is MVP's match. I'm going to show up. Oh my God, foreshadowing. Wow. Lashley at ringside for MVP versus Drew. Drew predictably wins in relatively quick order, but Lashley locks him in the full Nelson. Okay, we got to build. Oh, the show's over. That's it. A show of increasingly little significance. Say what you want about AEW. Even when something is executed really badly, like the Jericho-Tyson thing, which feels very pedantic and isn't good, it gets them the attention that they want from the outside. And the WWE, who has every opportunity to get attention from the outside with everything they do because they're number one, fail to do it. And fail to deliver a show that could have been, at least at the beginning, uplifting. And they seemingly negate everything that they do, week from week. It was shit. This has been Platinum versus Raw.